Good evening and welcome to the number one Group of Five college football show in the world. This is the Group of Five guys. And our mission, if you're new here, is to be the voice for the Group of Five football programs, the voice that we so desperately need and that the mainstream sports media absolutely refuses to be. We need your help to do that. Need you to go on all the social media platforms, hit the follow button at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. On this special Tuesday night edition of the Group of Five Guys, we got a lot to talk about. We've got an NIL transfer portal situation like we have not seen before that we absolutely have to discuss. We got Max Crosby, active NFL player on the staff at Eastern Michigan. And our original planned topic of discussion is we're going to talk about some of the biggest ambassadors for the Group of Five amongst all Group of Five programs. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of Five guys, and we are coming to you live.
I admire how much focus and energy you're putting on this part of college football.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five. So I'm sitting here with the Group of Five guys, right?
Detroit has won. It's been a winner, and it's a special place. So it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Jeff, I got to tell you, I sprinted into the house this evening, just got off the T-ball field, where let me tell you something about the Marlins, Jeff. We had 10 guys. First inning, we went 9 for 10 hitting off the pitch. These are 3, 4-year-olds now, Jeff.
There we go.
3, 4, and 5-year-olds. We went 9 for 10 at the dish tonight. And I mean, we have steadily improved. I'm telling you, dude, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I know you're kind of past this point, but it's pretty cool. Man, seeing the kids improve.
It's awesme. It's literally one of my favorite things to do is coach. I mean, not only my kids, obviously, but the other kids. I mean, I've had a couple kids I've been with for 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Ball. Now my oldest, Dominic, he's off doing the travel ball thing, in Middle Tennessee, but still got Nico on the way, and then Luciano will be bringing up the rear. But it's so much fun. I mean, I saw some kids last night that are now on a different team, and they come up to me and they're like, "Coach, man," and they just start going. It's literally one of the coolest things, man.
It's so cool. We got such a good group too, like such a great group of parents, like such a involved. Like my favorite thing, of course, that the dads are involved, man. Like I got, I don't know what I got. Me and 4 or 5 other dads that are on the field, helping all the kids hit, helping them run the bases, helping them field and stuff. It's great, man. And then, like you said, all the kids, they come up, they give you a hug just when it's like every time, we play Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays usually. And it's like they act like they haven't seen you in 2 months. Big hug. Hey, coach. I'm like, man, hey guys,
Well, the thing about it, Sprouse, and this, like I've been blessed with amazing coaches in my life, from Little League to high school to JUCO to Stock, and those guys at MTSU. Like, coaches can have such a big impact on your life, especially if you don't have a father figure in the home growing up, or you never know people's situation at home. Those kids, some of them, that is the biggest part of their week is coming and playing. And shoot, you can have an impact on somebody's life and they'll remember you for forever. And that's one of the most important things, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're in the spot. It's our team. It's most everybody's first time playing. And so if we're still around and everybody's still in town, like I can't wait to see, because we got another 2-3 years of T-ball. So we're going to be pretty damn good, I think, in a year or two, if we're able to keep the same group together. But Anyway, speaking of dads being involved, I mean, we have got a story of the for the ages. And I can't say that we didn't get up here and predict this over a year ago, Jeff, when this thing first started rolling out, NIL and portal and all this combined. I remember almost to the T what I said. I said, we're going to be dealing with agents. We're going to be dealing with holdouts. We're going to be dealing with contract disputes. And oh, here we are. And it has arrived. This Nico, I don't want to even attempt to pronounce his last name, but the situation at Tennessee with the quarterback, I mean, just open it up to you, Jeff. Thoughts?
You know, I'm going to do something on this show I don't think I have ever done.
Yeah, I'm going to do it too, Jeff. I know what you're going to do.
In the 4 years we've been doing it, I have to give credit to the University of Tennessee and Josh Heupel.
Amen.
As much as I hate on Tennessee, and I can't stand a lot of their fan base and the kids at middle that wore Tennessee stuff, bravo, Josh Heupel in Tennessee for putting your foot down and say, hey, kick rocks. You can go find another situation, but it ain't going to be here in Knoxville. And let me tell you, I think they were so smart to get out ahead of this thing and make the decision quick, because it put Nico in a very, very bad spot. I mean, he is damn near like napalm right now. Nobody wants to touch him. And, you know, I don't know how much he actually played a role. I don't know if it was an agent, representation, if it was his dad.
His dad.
But shame on them. Shame on them for being greedy and wanting to pimp out their son for as much money as humanly possible. And then the last thing I'll say, and I'll throw it back to you. This is why you don't give unproven freshmen coming out of high school that haven't played against grown men. They've been playing against kids in high school. And I don't care how many stars they have. I don't care about any of it. No kid coming out of high school is worth $8 million, $2 million a year for 4 years. That they overpaid right off the bat. I don't think he was that good. He disappeared against the best teams. He smoked the teams he was supposed to. But that's just so much you're putting on an 18, 19-year-old kid who probably can't even keep his room clean. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much money. It's too much money. Yeah. They overpaid, and this is what they got. But credit to Tennessee for sticking their foot in the ground and saying, see you later.
Yeah, and I'm depending on what they go do, because I know they're about to probably go poach what seems like possibly Gio Lopez or somebody of the nature. It's going to piss me off. But in some ways, I'm kind of rooting for Tennessee to succeed without the kid. And I think we talked about this on this show too. But Jeff, if you remember, here's a guy that was wearing Cookie Monster pajamas at a 7-on-7 camp in high school. Like, what I hope this entire situation does is, as these coaches are recruiting guys, right? You gotta, something like that, as silly as that may seem, a 7-on-7 camp that doesn't really matter. You see a kid wearing pajamas out there, like, that's gotta raise a red flag of what type of parent? I don't care if you're 17, 18 years old. If you're still in high school, like, and as involved as his dad apparently appears to be, like, oh no. We're not doing that. And it all correlates. And now you have the same thing. And I want to go back to what you said, because I've seen a lot of the talking heads talk about, oh, I mean, you know, it's free agency. It's just like the NFL. Everybody knows it's a business, this and that, because they're talking about the locker room. The big difference is exactly what you said. In the NFL, the guy that's getting paid the max contract has already proven it. Everybody knows he's the man. Everybody knows Brady's the GOAT. We'll pay him whatever he wants. Everybody knows it. The rookies aren't on those deals. Even if they are good, they're not on those deals. And the other difference is, Jeff, if you're the starting quarterback in the NFL, and I'm a practice squad offensive lineman, and you're making $22 million a year, and I'm making, $500,000 a year, the difference in the pros is, after camp, after practice, after the game, you're going home to your family in your, 20,000 square foot home, and I'm going home to my family in my 10,000 square foot home. And I know who you are, and I know what you've done to earn your paycheck. In college, here's a guy that hadn't played yet and has this deal. And now what if I'm a junior offensive lineman, walk on, starter, second string guy, maybe not making anything, maybe making $100,000, and you got a quarterback that's going to his penthouse, and I'm going to my on-campus apartment with the rest of my teammates, and we hang out, and we go to the cafeteria together, and we do everything together because we kind of have to. But here's this guy that's up here on this pedestal because whatever we wanted to do, it's way different. You cannot tell me this stuff doesn't affect the locker room. A holdout in the NFL is way different because they all understand the contracts and all the things that are involved. In college, as it stands right now, what we've been saying, we need contracts, we need these things. There's not that. So you're giving a high school kid all this money, and I can guarantee you he was a pain in the ass all season long. There's rumors on Twitter that he was a pain in the ass to get to his audit. Everything that was he had agreed to get that check, he was a pain in the ass to deal with. And look, you want to talk about it being like the NFL? Okay, I'll give you two guys that are on two completely different sides of the spectrum, and you can tell me how good or not good they were. Tim Tebow and Colin Kaepernick, both great college players, phenomenal college players. Both had flashes being great in the NFL. And say what you want, but the reason that both of their careers were cut short is because they weren't good enough to deal with the circus that they brought. Here you go, 19-year-old Nico, thanks to your dad. You're not good enough to deal with the circus that your dad has now put on your entire family. So, look, I'm sure he'll end up somewhere. He's probably going to end up in the group of five, and I'm going to be up here singing his praises in a year or two when he's starting quarterback at UTEP. But, look, man, this is just – I'm glad Tennessee took a stand because I think if they didn't, this would have continued to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I don't know where he would go or where he's going to end up. I think most coaches with any type of sense about them, they're not going to take a chance on this kid at this point because and it might have nothing to do with Nico. They don't want to deal with the dad. They don't want to deal with the representation, whoever the agent is. So I think at this point, he's sort of untouchable. Like, nobody's going to want him. He ain't getting I don't think he's going to get the $2 million back. I think he's going to get less money, which is wild. And our good friend Josh Pate was talking. He reported that, but from behind the scenes, they were shopping mid playoffs last year.
That's what
before the Ohio State game. So this whole thing is just absolutely nuts and out of control. I'm glad Tennessee took a stand.
Yep.
And you made the comparison to the NFL. Here's the thing I'll say about it. This is considered to me, and I'm just guessing, but this has got to be close to like a max deal type of deal, right? NIL deal, comparatively to the NFL. Guys get that 3-4 years into the league. And then when they get it, the contract they're locked down with is another like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 years if you're a quarterback.
Correct.
And they can't go anywhere. This was like a max deal on the front end, unproven freshman quarterback, and he can leave. So This was bad on the front end by, I think, the NIL and the boosters and everybody at Tennessee, but good on the back end for just saying, see you later.
Yeah. And, the other part, too, is everybody keeps coming at the NCAA. And as you bring up all the time is like, look, you can blame the NCAA, but anytime the NCAA has attempted to stand their ground and stand by their rules, they get sued and they lose. It's like, what do you want them to do? Because if the NCAA tries to come in, guys like this are going to sue them, and they're going to lose in the courts. They've done every time. That's why we have all this. That's why we have this mess. And I mean, look, and I know like you brought up Pate and what he said. It's like he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one shopping in the middle of the playoff. And I'm guilty because I listened to that segment and he was talking about, everybody thought if we expand the playoff, people won't opt out. And I'm guilty of being in that camp to a degree. I can't believe it, man. I cannot believe it. I cannot imagine. First of all, I cannot imagine if my son, either of my two sons are good enough at anything that they're in this kind of position. I cannot imagine as their dad making it about me. I cannot imagine. And Jeff, if I do it, shoot me. Okay. I
You
mean,
got
my
it, pal.
God. I mean, this is just like,
It's embarrassing.
it's so embarrassing. And then he had the nerve to get on Twitter and talk about, look, and I am no fan of Pete Nakos or anybody at On3 because I think they're a big part of this because they are the ones that come up with these arbitrary values and numbers. And they're the ones that are getting information from the agents that, pump up these numbers. So you have a delusional Tennessee fan base that watches a kid at a 7-on-7 camp in pajamas and thinks, and On3 and Rivals put a 5-star on him and a $2 million valuation on him. And the fans think they got the home run. But what they don't know is the guy's a pain in the ass in the locker room. The guy's a pain in the ass, probably in meetings, probably in practice. If they're a pain in the ass like this in one thing, you're going to be a pain in the ass in everything. Teammates, you saw some of the players already. You saw them tweeting, when they got the backup guy or whatever, that they were kind of, I think it was Georgia last year when Beck got hurt. A lot of guys are like that. I mean, a lot of times it is like that. And maybe the guy that's maybe the most talented guy ain't the guy that's got the locker room. It ain't the guy that's got the huddle. And so you just
I wish I could say that I was surprised about all this, but I see some of these parents in travel ball firsthand, and you just throw about $2 million into that equation, and I can see how all this is possible because some of these parents are out of control, and you can just tell. And not that I was the great college football athlete or any of this stuff. Like I tell people, like, I played, and I use that term very loosely, right? But I can look at these parents and say, you don't have an athletic bone in your body
100%.
and you have no idea what it takes to get to that level. And the way you're treating your 9-year-old son ain't it.
100%.
So
100%. I feel that way. I always tell people this because I'm the same way. I'm like, I'll say, look, I was in the locker room. I played. I mean, hey, take that for what it's worth. But I do say, but I know a Division I athlete when I see one, and you ain't it, pal.
No question.
Mean, I could tell by the way you're walking and bouncing on your toes, Jeff, that
Big
you
toe
are
walker.
that you ain't a D1 guy. And the peak, and you can't break it because you don't want to crush a kid, right? But it's like, hey man, more than likely, this is the peak of of all of our family's athletic achievements, right? I mean, this is it. Like, most of those kids ain't going to be good enough to play in high school. I mean, that's the truth of it. A couple of them will. And then there might be one, you got your whole travel league. There might be 1 or 2 kids that can play college ball. Maybe. Most of them will play, D2, whatever, which is fine. But, dude, I'm 100% with you on all that, man. And it just is like, but again, if you're in the market for a portal QB and you think, like, again, I hate to compare it to the NFL. How many times do we see an NFL team that's like, man, we're a quarterback and free agency away from being a Super Bowl team? And there's a lot of college programs that probably think we're a big-time QB away from making a run at this thing. But here's the thing. Now you have precedents that even if we make a run and we win this conference and we get to the playoff, even then, this guy's not loyal to anything, and he'll bounce then, and he'll be shopping then, and we talk about the distractions all the time. I know we got to move on, but man, I can't believe we're at this point in our society.
We talked about it honestly since the dawn of NIL when that and the portal went into play. We were like, it's coming, and here we are, 3 years down the road or whatever it's been. But man, it's wild. But
hey, real quick before we talk about our next kind of topic of discussion, I've been meal prepping again, Jeff.
There you go.
I'll tell you, man, I saw a picture of myself the other day, and I felt like I've aged 10 years in the last 6 months. So I gotta get back to it. But I've been meal prepping, and I gotta give a shout out to our boys at Gridiron Spice Company, because when I meal prep, I am the laziest meal prepper of all time, buddy. I am like ground beef, white rice, and just 6 ounces ground beef, cup of white rice, and it's pretty gross if it's just by itself. I've been mixing up. I've been taking, matter of fact, I've been taking the Cajun one.
There you go.
Dusting it all over it for my meal preps. It's good. It's good quality stuff. You can take a real plain dish and make it pretty damn good, especially if you're a guy like me that, walks into the Circle K gas station and heats up their Tupperware full of lunch in the middle of the day. But if you guys haven't heard, we have partnered with the Gridiron Spice Company. They got 4 different spice blends, for whatever you like. They've got kind of your traditional salt, pepper, garlic. They've got their signature blend, which is phenomenal on a burger. They've got their Cajun blend, and then they've got their hot and
hot round,
sweet and spicy. Yeah, sweet and spicy blend as well. They're all really good. Go to their website. It's gridironspiceco.com. Use our promo code GOFG. You'll get 10% off on that stuff. Like I said, it's damn good.
Yeah, it's big time. They do a great job. All their ingredients. I mean, you just look at the label. It is what it is. There's none of these additives and none of this extra sugar that they throw on top. Guys, we got to start taking care of our bodies. We're getting old. We're getting up there. We can't just keep loading it up with junk. We're not going to last that long. So this is a great alternative. Put on your burgers. Put on your any type of meat you got. They got a seasoning for it.
And Jeff, you put it on your veggies.
No doubt.
Put it on your steamed broccoli, buddy. I mean, I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I've been doing. I've been making the most plain dishes: potatoes, beef, baked chicken, which is disgusting if you don't season it properly. Put any one of any of the 4 on there.
Put it in front of me right now. I tear it up live. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Hey, if you're on Twitter or Facebook, come over to YouTube. We got a great live chat going. And I hope I pronounced this right. I think it's Sergeant Morhew in Vegas is tuning in tonight. We got Mark T in the live chat. We got Josh in there. We got T Kingsley in the live chat. So a lot of good stuff. Scotty B's in there. What's up, Scotty? Some great people in there going back and forth. We're talking about some different topics in the live chat. So go over to YouTube, check that out. Guys, help us out. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn that little bell on so it notifies you every time we go live. And we got to keep growing this community. Before we know it, this is gonna be it. This is what we got. So we got to get ahead of this thing. Share the gospel. Share our posts on X now and Facebook. Help us get this thing really big.
Jeff, I went to a FCA banquet last night.
Yeah.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which, by the way, is a super cool deal. I never knew. I went to a Christian high school, so I never realized how big FCA was. Like, I thought it was just us that was, like, doing that stuff.
No, they're nationwide, I believe.
Yeah, they are, and it was a big ordeal. Sony Michel, former Georgia running back, was the keynote speaker, which, he was great. And he's also a Broward County product like myself, so I talked to him for a minute before about it. And but Jeff, you should have seen. I mean, we're talking 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds barking like rabid animals inside of a church facility on a Monday night, Jeff.
Jeez.
I mean, you should have seen it. I was just like rolling my eyes like I never have before. But anyway, that was a cool deal. I want to say, so one other thing is we're talking about Nico here and his dad being involved. And then, over the weekend, you get the Kyron Lacey story, which is like super unfortunate. I mean, that's just the only thing I really want to say is I don't know details of really any of it. And I know he's had his fair share of, instances and things like that. Former Ragin' Cajun, went on to LSU, hell of a player. Was tended to be into some things, into some trouble. And of course, this offseason, it's kind of piled on, but I can only speculate. You've got to be careful who you stay hanging around with, especially if you're a guy like these 2 guys we've been talking about that are the ones, right? Your whole family's there and all your friends are there, and they are counting on you almost more than you're counting on yourself, because they think that you are their ticket to success because they couldn't figure out a way to be successful at anything. So they sit there and they bring you down and they get you around the wrong things. And, that's what it seems like. I mean, obviously he was in some some trouble, but kind of seems like the weight and the pressure of that, along with the pressure of, you know, you got to go be good at football. You got to go get drafted. You got to do this so we can just sit on our ass and, you know, collect when you come take care of us. But I just like, I know with Nico, it's his dad. You know, I don't know what the story is with Kyron Lacey, but no matter who it is, a relative, a friend that you've had your whole life, like you've got to realize that you're special. You've got to get rid of people. And I you know, I don't know how to do it. I never really been in that kind of situation, but man, it just sucks so bad to see people that, you know, it's I don't want to say wasted talent, but kind of.
Yeah, well, you know, we all had dreams as kids of making it big, and especially, you know, as boys being professional athletes. And this kid had a shot. So the whole situation is just sad, and thoughts and prayers, you know, go out to their entire family. And you just hate to see this type of thing, you know. And it's hard. It's hard when you grow up with people and you think that they're your boys or whatever, and they got your best interest at heart. But man, I learned this a long time ago. I lost my dad at 17, you know, and you got to find some people outside of your circle that are just good people that you know, and you find out through spending time with them that they really don't want anything from you. All they want is to see you succeed. And those are the people you got to find and lean on. And it's tough because you've got to be able to decipher character, right? And it's you kind of only learn that by growing up. And Coach Stock used to say it all the time, yeah, right? You are who you associate with. And if you associate with people on the regular that are into, you know, things you probably shouldn't be involved in, it's going to rub off on you one way or the other. So I hate that it happened, and just such a sad situation, man. But got to find some people that are in your corner that want nothing from you other than just to see you succeed.
100%, 100%. And like you said, it's difficult. And the only other thing I want to say on that too is, you know, because a lot of it had to do with the decision, you know, he made that, you know, I think it's a reckless driving, reckless homicide, I think is what he was being charged with. And it's like the decisions we make, man. And I'm not going to get up here and I would never sit up here and tell you that I've not done some really stupid things that had, you know, timing or something been wrong. Like, you know, like a lot worse could have happened. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there and pretend like I haven't gotten in the car. I hadn't gotten behind the wheel, you know, after a few, you know what I mean? And so like, but now I'm sitting here and I know, you know, you want to say kids do dumb things or young people do dumb things, but now I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, and there's so many ways now to not do stupid stuff, still go out and have a good time and all those things. But man, I mean, it's like, you know, one decision, man, one stupid decision and your entire life changes. And then at the same time, man, one great decision and your entire life could change.
Absolutely.
So, but again, you get those people around you, and it's not even as deep as what we're talking about here. But when we're just talking about this NIL stuff, this portal stuff, just try to find those people that don't want anything back from you, because they'll give you advice that's going to benefit you versus them giving you advice that's going to benefit themselves. So,
no doubt.
Anyway, in brighter news, in great news, how about this Max Crosby, general manager at Eastern Michigan thing?
I absolutely love it. I mean, I as a Raider fan, as a huge Max Crosby fan, and a Group of Five guy, I mean, this guy might be one of the best ambassadors for his university and his school as an active player.
That's the key here.
Anybody that I've ever seen. I mean, for him to take this on, let's be honest. I mean, it's probably going to be an off-season thing. Obviously, fall is fall. NFL and college go hand in hand in the season, so he's probably not going to have much there. But just to have him step up and be like, "Hey, I want to be a part of this. I want to help." You know, obviously he's donated money. You know, I think they renamed the field, if I'm not mistaken, right, as Crosby Field. So, man, I love Mad Max. He's just great. He's a Raider through and through, Eastern Michigan through and through. Like, you can't find a better ambassador than he is for that program. And I'm curious to see in the next 5-10 years, can he make a big impact? Can that really, get Eastern Michigan going in the direction that every one of their fans wants them to go?
What I like about it the most is it's not an on the field role, and it doesn't, and obviously, like, he's still playing, so it's not a role where it's a, I'm gonna go coach at this school for a year or two until I get the big job. Like, it seems like this is a long-term play for him and for Eastern Michigan, more importantly. But I like it, man. Look at the MAC. You got Eddie George now in the MAC at Bowling Green, and you got this deal. And my only, my question mark is, I saw where some of his, job function is going to be helping, like, evaluating high school talent. But see, where I think he could come into play as a guy that's in the NFL, that's one of the highest paid players at his position. I think you want to talk about what we just talked about, a mentor, a guy that's going to be able to look at, let's say you're going to look at a situation like an incoming transfer that's asking for all this money. I mean, you got a guy like Max Crosby that's probably going to be able to see right through that stuff. And so that's the kind of thing I'm looking forward to. And how does he, if he's managing the NIL, I mean, what if it's like, hey, we need an extra 500,000? Okay. You know what I mean? Okay, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So it could kind of you're going to be a blank check at Eastern Michigan. I mean, I don't know what the rules are on that, on somebody on staff. I mean, I know a lot of head coaches have donated to the NIL funds and things. So,
yeah, I mean, the regulations there are definitely loosening up. I mean, but is the guy even taking a paycheck? Like, to me, it kind of seems like it's going to be a title. Title. Surely he's not like, I want to get paid from this to be the GM.
To me, it's a play for him to get involved in the front office when he's done playing, whether it be in college or at the professional level. So it's almost a resume builder. It's a win-win for everybody because Eastern Michigan's got, brand recognition, money, mentorship, popularity of a Max Crosby, and then Max Crosby's basically doing an internship in the front office. And so, I mean, I think it's great. I think, it's phenomenal that he's so heavily involved still at Eastern Michigan, and he's been on his own podcast talking about how, he wouldn't be where he's at today without Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't see any negative aspect of this. It's awesome all the way around. I'm curious to see, how good is his eye for evaluating talent? Just because, and if I could play devil's advocate, just because you're a phenomenal player doesn't necessarily mean you have the eye. But exactly what you said, when kids are coming in or kids on the roster, like, for him to just be a resource for these kids, that to me is the biggest part of this. Yeah. Having somebody active in it, one of the best in the league at their craft. They understand what it takes. They are proof of Eastern Michigan to the NFL, to the top of the NFL at that position, being one of the highest paid.
I mean, that's it right there, Jeff. Eastern Michigan, let's say they recruit a guy, develop him, becomes a great pass rusher. They walk into the coach's office. Hey, man, I want to go to, Michigan is in my DMs saying they got, 800,000 for me. I think I'm going to go there. I got a better shot at the NFL. Okay, hang on just a second. Max. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Highest paid guy at his position, best to do it right now in the league. Did it from this room, from this field, this way,
Yep.
So, I mean, and then it's like, I get it, man. You got a family you're trying to feed. Okay, you need an extra little bit. I got that too. You know what I mean? That's what I think this is. And I mean, I think, like I said, I think it's a win-win. But
well, he's also got a couple product lines and brands that I think he could probably connect some players at Eastern Michigan with some advertising situation.
I think he's got the underwears, doesn't he?
He does.
He's got the underwear. Of course, he's got his own podcast too now. So you're going to be able to. That's another part. You're going to be able to kind of media train these guys,
no doubt. And push the brand.
Everybody wants
Michigan.
to do a podcast right now. You know what I mean? I mean, here we are. Everybody that's playing has got a podcast, and he's got one of the better ones.
Yep. And to just push the brand of Eastern Michigan, more people are going to know about it. Like, we know, obviously, he played Eastern Michigan. I'd bet the vast majority of NFL fans don't know where he played school.
Jeff, when I was going through this main topic we're about to get to here for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm sitting here thinking about all the NFL fans on Twitter because right now it's a hot topic, especially you and your Raiders fan. Oh, Genty, Mountain West, Boise State. And I'm going through this list of some of the best players to come out of every single school. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, if I'm a fan of a lot of these teams, it's like, man, some of the best players ever in my franchise's history played at the Group of Five, and most of these idiots don't have a damn clue about it. And that's why that's why we're here, right? It's an education piece. And that's why we got to educate everybody on these guys that are coming up. And I hope Max Crosby's like that. I hope he gets, whether it be Eastern Michigan guys, other MAC guys, I hope he gets them on the podcast. And is able to kind of talk about these guys. Yeah, we got to get Max on the podcast. I saw Genty talking to McAfee today. Did you see that?
No, I missed that.
Yeah, we got to get him on too.
You talk about a brand ambassador. I ain't gonna
he's about to be
better than Genty and our boy Quinyon Mitchell.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, Crosby's doing it, but these guys recently, and especially at a time, because we don't know, right? Max Crosby, he might have transferred if he could have, if it was different when he was there. Maybe, maybe not. These guys like Quinyon Mitchell, like Ashton Genty. I mean, you've heard Nick Saban get on live on national television and say, yeah, we tried to get him. So these guys are freaking flag bearers for not only just their program, but for their entire conference and for the entire Group of Five, in my opinion. But anyway, I wish, though, like as we go through some of these guys, I wish they were more vocal about where they came from, because some of them I'm like, yeah, I knew you went there, but you're on Fox Sports every day, every Sunday talking NFL. And I don't think anybody knows. They all know where you played in the NFL. I don't think that. Yeah, started. I got this in alphabetical order. Akron, Jason Taylor, one of my favorite players of all time, Dolphins defensive end. Most people don't know he went to Akron. I can guarantee you they don't know he went to Akron. He's on, I think he's coaching for the Hurricanes now, but he's on one of the pregame shows every Sunday. It's like, brother, we got to get you more vocal. And if you're Akron, do you remember when we played, were you still, when we played at North Carolina? Were you still?
I was gone. That was the year after me.
You were there when we went at Purdue.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll never forget, especially at North Carolina, I remember, during their little TV timeouts, they would have, you look over at the jumbo things, hey, Tar Heels, Julius Peppers here. And the place just erupts and they start playing highlight footage from Julius Peppers at North Carolina, then Julius Peppers in the NFL. And every break, there's like a different guy. And again, not to put a thing on middle or anybody, but you go to those games and it's like, I don't know, if you're not a Group of Five fan, like I bet you there's students that are casual football fans at Middle Tennessee right now that don't know. Well, they probably know Kevin Byard.
Yep.
That's probably it. They probably don't know Reed Blankenship played there. They probably don't know Richie James played there.
Here's the deal. So I went to the spring showcase Saturday.
What do we got?
On the Jumbotron.
Have we adjusted?
Reed Blankenship was rotating in on the graphics, the Super Bowl graphic of Reed Blankenship. For everybody to see.
Okay.
Making strides, bro. We're getting in the nitty-gritty now up there.
We're making strides. Okay. Well, hey, look.
So
everybody needs to do that.
Akron, I think KB's been a great ambassador.
Do we got to get Jason Taylor? Do we got to name the field after you?
Statue, maybe?
Yeah. Air Force, Chad Hennings. He's a multiple-time All-American, Super Bowl champion with the Cowboys. Academies are tough. Not a ton of NFL guys. But Chad Hennings, fighter pilot, world-class All-American. Now, I tried to do this off the top of my head as much as I can, and then a couple I had to look up. App State, I went a route because I grew up, I used to love this guy, Dexter Coakley. You remember him? Wore 52 for the Cowboys, and he wore the freaking cowboy collar. But he's the perfect App State guy, right? A little undersized linebacker, but was flying all over the damn field, Jeff. For the Cowboys, number 52. I loved playing with them in Madden back in the day.
No, I remember Dexter Coakley. Absolutely, I do. I got one for you. Or I got a couple, really.
Yeah, give me something.
I think the Carr brothers do a great job of repping Fresno State, and Gilbert put that in the chat too. But I mean, every time they chance, they're always like, "Go Dogs," or whenever they always at least make it back for a game, like one of the games typically in the fall. So I think the Carr brothers do a great job.
And I think Devontae Adams too.
He does.
I mean, he's been the most probably successful. Derek Carr has had a decent career. David Carr, not so much
For the wrong reasons, was famous.
Yeah, exactly. And also for Fresno, Logan Mankins. See, I'm an O-line guy. Great O-lineman for all the Patriot teams.
Yeah.
Winning all the Super Bowls. But Boise State, right? It's about to be Genty. It's about to be. But to me, Kellen Moore and just the career he's had, more so as a coach, has brought a ton of, not that they need it per se, but has brought a ton of recognition to Boise. And then the other one I had for Boise was Chris Peterson being on the Fox show all the time.
Yeah.
Because every time he's up there, it's that's the guy that started this thing, that kind of built this thing. And he's up there every day. And I think just today, him and Dirk Cutter were standing there on the sideline at Boise spring practice.
Nice.
So, you get guys like that and that go on to have a further career post Boise State. I think that's what kind of helps. That's what helps a ton.
No, they've had a lot of guys that obviously have, went on to the league, and you look them up and they're like, oh, Boise State, that makes sense. Good player, right? Josh in the chat says Dexter's son is on the team now.
At App State, boy, are we old. Oh my God. That's
We're very
unbelievable. Yeah, what's he play?
No idea.
Gotta play linebacker.
I'd assume.
Going back to the MAC, speaking of MAC, Buffalo's got a great one with Khalil.
Oh, yeah.
Khalil Mack.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a phenomenal one.
Let's see. Zon Coakley. Hold on. I got to look this up. Wide receiver.
I'm going to tell you, though, while I'm on it, the MAC has put out some guys. I know we talk about this. The MAC gets kind of crapped on. Buddy, they put out more NFL guys. I mean, I don't have any numbers. But no, certainly not by us. But they put out some freaking, like, not only just NFL guys, like best of all time type NFL guys. I mean, year in and year out, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
No question. Mac's loaded, man.
Yeah. So again, Central Michigan. Eric Fisher goes #1 overall in the draft. Antonio Brown, I mean, I might not be a good ambassador at this point in his. Joe Staley.
His X is incredible now. His Twitter account is so funny.
It's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny follow. But Joe Staley, one of the best offensive linemen of all time, for a long career with the 49ers at Central Michigan. We talked about that when we had Coach Drinkle on, just that O-line pedigree that they've always had at Central Michigan. I don't know how you want me to do this, Jeff.
I mean, I'd say just hit some of the bigger ones. But I do want to shout out Mark D in the chat. Says North Texas, Mean Joe Green.
The team is named,
right?
It doesn't get any better than that. Now, I mean, I wish that freaking Coca-Cola commercial had something to North Texas in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish that would help. I'll tell you a guy that we played against, and that's one of the few that kind of was repping the school, is T.Y. Hilton down at FIU.
Big time.
And then at FAU's had some guys. Alfred Morris, you remember the run he had for the Redskins for several years? Devin Singletary single-handedly won the fantasy league in our league in circa 2022, I think it was. And then now they've got Trey Hendrickson having a phenomenal career on the defensive line for the Bengals out of FAU.
Yeah.
And again, those guys, like, I don't know what goes through everybody's head, but like, you look at what Max Crosby's doing, and I hope that someday, Jeff, we whatever it may be, can make enough money and have enough popularity to like truly make a difference at middle.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't even, it's like, I wasn't even good. It's like, you guys got a chance to, like, why would you not want your program to be the best of the best? I don't get it. You're in the locker room with all these freaking SEC guys and all these guys,
Yep.
You know,
Well, you want to talk about active players? I mean, Josh Allen in Wyoming. Wyoming was I got into a Twitter debate with some guy
I saw
the
it.
last like day, and he keeps bringing up the point. He's like, oh well, now if it was this portal and NIL day, Josh Allen wouldn't be there. I'm like, Wyoming was the only school to offer him a scholarship. If it wasn't for Wyoming, we may not have ever heard the name Josh Allen. He went to Reedley, JUCO in California, and then Wyoming was the only school to offer him. And they gave him the opportunity, the chance to play and be great. And now Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I've seen him rep Wyoming before. I don't know if he's quite as involved as Max is. I mean, I think Max is the kind of the flag bearer at this point, top of the list as far as getting involved and donating. I'm sure Josh Allen has given back to Wyoming. Would have to really look into it to see what he's done, but surely he's done stuff with Wyoming. 100%. They're the only school that gave him a scholarship.
Yep. I got a great one. Maybe another one of the best. DeMarcus Ware at Troy.
Big time.
And I mean, Troy, they're known for pushing out pass rushers. They keep doing it. Their latest one, Javon Solomon. But DeMarcus Ware, OCU Minora too. But DeMarcus Ware is still involved. He's in a damn commercial at the grocery store wearing a Troy jersey.
I love that.
Yeah, great. I mean, just great. Just great brand recognition. I mean, and a guy that, one of the best to ever do it. We're not talking like these guys, like, we're not talking, okay, they had a decent little NFL career. Like, we're talking some of the best to ever play this game. Played at Troy. And again, fans don't know it. I don't think they know it. I had Marshall Faulk, of course, for San Diego State. But then another one, Jeff, and you may not remember this. This is me being a fat guy. Do you remember Leroy Glover?
Oh, yeah.
Wore number 93 a big fat nose tackle. He's one of the first D linemen to go like the super dark tinted visor.
Oh,
you remember that?
Of course I remember it.
Leroy Glover. He played because obviously he played next to like freaking Reggie White, like in the 90s. I remember Leroy Glover, and I didn't know he went to San Diego State. So another guy. But Marshall Faulk, I mean, again, you talk about that Rams team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and then on that same Rams team, Isaac Bruce at Memphis. I mean, again, like, where's Kurt Warner? Where the hell did he play college?
He was like
Arizona or something like that, or
he was a D2.
I know he was like bagging groceries when he got the call. But like, okay, like your Rams fans, I know they're not in St. Louis anymore.
You and I knew it was like a 1AA.
It's like, look at that roster you had. Your quarterback's a 1AA guy. Your running back's a San Diego State guy. Your best receiver is a Memphis guy.
No, Sprouse, it's all different now. See, in this day and age, none of those guys would have played there. They all would have played at Georgia,
I know,
Ohio State,
it's like,
Michigan.
Okay, but
Randy Moss wouldn't have played for Marshall,
Yeah, but they freaking didn't. It's what's that got to do with anything?
It's the guy on Twitter today he was
like, it's like we said, like I said last week. It's like, okay, Josh Allen, maybe he goes to Wyoming for 3 years and then he goes to Oregon. Okay. Wyoming developed the guy. Wyoming's the one that knew he was good. Oregon didn't realize it until he already proved it,
Exactly.
It's like, what does that got to do with anything? I don't understand these people. Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger. Okay, maybe he doesn't stay at Miami. Okay, but he did. His pictures are on the wall.
People are delusional.
So he went there. I mean, that's another guy, Big Ben.
No doubt.
Miami of Ohio. I mean, one of the great. Again, if you're a freaking Steelers fan, okay, best quarterback in your history is a Miami guy. Didn't Mean Joe Green play? Isn't he a Steeler? I mean,
pretty sure.
Okay, Mean Joe Green, Steelers guy. Terry Bradshaw, La Tech guy. So if you're a Steelers fan and you're sitting there looking at an Ashton Genty, you're like, oh, well, can't take a Mountain West group of 5 guy. Buddy, your franchise has been succeeding for decades because of group of 5 guys.
Right.
I mean, for your Raiders, I mean, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just insane. And I'll never forget it too. This was like when we very first started the group of 5 guys Twitter. And I'll never forget it to this day. The Bears drafted Kendall Vildor out of Georgia Southern. and there was a Bears fan. Somehow it ended up on my feed and was like, oh, another small school guy. Why do we keep drafting small school guys? And I said, buddy, Brian Urlacher played at New Mexico, which, no offense, is one of the worst programs in all of the Group of Five, and he's the best player to play in your freaking franchise history. Again, if you're a Bears fan, it's like, it baffles me that an NFL fan would even like think about this stuff. And I know, I know Twitter's not real life, so I know like wherever Genty goes, probably 90% of the fan base is going to be ecstatic about it. And then there's going to be a small portion that thinks like you only need to draft. What do you got?
Well, two things. Number one, I'll go with the Genty thing first because obviously Las Vegas Raiders is all over my Twitter feed. I can't tell you how many people when I post about Genty, I hope we draft him at number 6. Are you kidding me? We need Shador or we need Cam Ward or who takes a running back at 6? You take generational players in the first round. I don't care wherever you can get them. Just don't miss. Don't swing and miss on a weak quarterback class. And that's all of them. I don't think any of them are first round grades in my opinion.
Jeff, they're retiring Shador's jersey at Colorado. Can you believe that? By the way,
are they?
Really? Cordell Stewart doesn't have his jersey retired at Colorado. He won a national championship. Shador Sanders is a career 500 quarterback. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't know. I don't know how he'll be in the NFL, but it's like, why are we retiring the guy's jersey? First of all, he just got done playing 5 months ago. And him and Travis Hunter, they're retiring both of their jerseys.
That was part of the deal. I'm sure.
13 and 12.
Kingsley in the chat, he's a different sport, and this is a great San Diego State. Tony Gwynn, one of the best hitters of all time, dominant in MLB forever. And then Mark, Southern Miss, Brett Favre.
Again, yeah, you're a Green Bay Packers fan. It's like, hey man, like
Chad's coming with some heat.
Yeah, I mean he's, No,
I'm just saying, like the chat, it's just they're listing off great names here.
I mean, and again, like we're literally talking about like you go ask. That's how I should have done this. I should have done this a different way. I should have took the NFL teams and just put like, okay, top of your head, who's the best player in this franchise's history? And we would say it and see where they went to school. I bet it's close to 50% played it in the Group of Five.
Yeah,
I mean, if you went Packers, probably a decent portion of Packers fans would say Brett Favre. Some might say Aaron Rodgers.
You're missing the point here. They never would have played at these schools.
I know.
If NIL was in place and transfer portal, they would have never played. That's the lamest argument ever.
Yeah, and what? Like it's like, what's that Obama? That's that Obama GIF or whatever, where he's just like,
yeah.
What are you talking about? What's that got to do with anything?
You brought that up.
I mean, it is wild. But you could. I'm telling you, we need to do that next time. We'll do that. I'll make all the NFL teams. I mean, I'm just trying to think here. I mean, I'm literally going, okay, if you could take that NFC North, I mean, you go Packers, Bears, Lions, Vikings. You got to say Randy Moss.
Yep.
Marshall. Packers, you could probably debate, but I think traditional Packers fans would probably say Favre. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. They might say Aaron Rodgers. They might say somebody before that.
Yeah, I think they'd say Favre.
But either way, I mean, Cal. Let's not pretend Cal is like some world beater program. The Bears. It's not Urlacher. It's what, Dick Butkus?
Yeah, Butkus probably.
I mean, so we're talking New Mexico, Marshall, and Southern Miss. Lions are going to say Barry Sanders more than likely, so that's an Oklahoma State guy. But okay, so there's 3 of your 4 in that division. I mean, I think it would be close. I'd love to do it.
We'll have to do that.
And then there's where we're talking about like the Steelers, where they've got like 3-4 guys, 3-4 of their 5 best ever are Group of 5 players.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we got to do on the next one, Jeff. Trying to go through, see if there's anybody. Here's another one, played for the Steelers. Joey Porter, great linebacker, Colorado State guy. That's, by the way, Trey McBride, highest paid tight end ever, Colorado State guy.
That's big time.
That's crazy, Jeff, because he just got drafted, so he would have never stayed at Colorado State if there was a portal. Or
Oh, wait.
Quinyon Mitchell never would have stayed at Toledo and flat out said he wanted to stay at Toledo and not transfer. Genty would have never stayed at Boise State.
We should need to keep an Excel doc and a list of all the people. Just go through the rosters and keep so when people make stupid comments like that on Twitter and just go Mitchell, Genty, McBride, just start listing and do I need to keep going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. I'll say this. He talked about the Vikings. You said Randy Moss. Randall Cunningham might have been their number 2, and he's a UNLV guy.
Yep.
And Dante Culpepper's probably their number 3, and he's a UCF guy, which was at the time.
Yeah, we got some Hall of Famers too coming from Division II. Joe Flacco, Delaware, Walter Payton, Jackson State, Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State.
Yep.
Just listing them off in the live chat. Appreciate you guys. We do have 2 voicemails we got to get to.
Yeah, we got to get to those, Jeff. And if we think of anybody else, we'll get to the only other one. And just because I'm going to give myself a shout out, Jason Pierre-Paul,
JPP,
out of South Florida. I went against him one-on-one in junior college. He was at Fort Scott.
You dominated him, right?
Honestly,
oh boy,
not that good. No. This is what I remember. Me and old Jason Cons were the 2 tackles at the Air Force Prep School, and I remember we were playing Fort Scott Community College at their place. We lost to them by a yard, by the way, but I do remember watching the tape and our O-line coach being like, they got 2 for real defensive ends, JUCO,
oh yeah.
He's like, they got 2 probably SEC type defensive ends is what he said. But I just remember them both being super tall and long, but that's really it,
Yeah.
And I'm sure he went and put 50 pounds on when he got done playing JUCO, but I don't remember. We definitely played some other schools. We played Snow College, and there was some Samoan defensive end that ended up going to Utah. That was he whipped my ass. That was my welcome to college football moment.
Colleges are different, man.
Yeah, that was a freaking 27-year-old man that just freaking welcomed my little 18-year-old ass fresh out of boot camp to college football, playing left tackle at 230 pounds or whatever I was after that. But anyway, Jeff, let's get to the voicemails. Hey, if you want to call the hotline, if you got somebody that's a great ambassador for the Group of 5, or anything, you got any, transfer portal's going nuts today. So if you got good news, bad news from the portal, call the hotline at 615-900-4286. Leave a voicemail. We'll play it on the show.
Group of 5 guys, Josh Bevel here. Just went to the Howson County versus Lee County baseball game here in Warner Robins, Georgia. But saw quarterback commit Weston Bryant play a little baseball. Telling you, this guy passes the old calves and glutes checks, my friends.
I saw a picture of him. He does.
Probably going to be an unbelievable football player. I hope so. All of 6'2", 6'3", maybe 6'4". I don't know what his height is, but all of 230, 240. And boy, this guy can move too. We're getting a stud in the quarterback room, I'm telling you. He'll be there in June. But, Sprouse, I know you and your wife are expecting another baby. Congrats. But, I'm having a boy myself here in first part of August. So I was just seeing if, you fellow dads got any advice for me. But that's all. Shout out, Group of 5 guys. Love y'all. Hail Southern.
I'll tell you exactly what to do, Josh. Pimp him out to the highest bidder when he gets to college. That's what you got to do. Man, congrats.
Yeah, congrats, man. That's awesome. Just call Lenny B. Go ahead and ink a $3 million NIL deal to go to Georgia Southern. Call your pops. No, that's awesome, man. It's life changing. There's nothing better. And it goes by fast. My oldest is 10. I got less time he's going to be in the house now than I've had him. It's crazy. Got 8 years.
They say, what's that stat that your kids will spend something like 99% of the time that they'll ever spend with you will be in their first 18 years.
Yep.
No, think about that. But
Wow.
yeah, dude, enjoy it, man. It is so great. It's so awesome. Don't let anybody get you down about it being hard or you being tired or this and that. Like that. Of course, man. Anything good in life is hard.
Yep.
Like, but it's not when you're going through it because it's so great, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You only get one shot, one shot with that particular child. So just soak it up. There's going to be moments where you're stressed out and then you're tired and all those things, man. But just you only get them for about 18 years, and then you see them maybe a couple times a year after that if you're lucky. I moved across the country. I could see my family once, twice a year on a good year. So enjoy every moment. You can't really break babies that much. People, they're pretty durable. They don't obviously drop it.
No, yeah. Well, and I'll say this. I will say this. See, people mislead you on a lot of things, I think, because they act like the newborn phase. The newborn phase is great. They just sleep all the time. I mean, you'll be up. Like, you'll have to get up sometimes in the middle of the night, but, like, you'll kind of get on there. If you take some paternity and maternity leave, it's like, yeah, you just kind of wake up for a minute, put on a little show. I mean, me and my wife watched more Netflix in the first 6 months of Cam's life than we've ever watched. I mean, they just kind of sleep all day. But I will tell you this, give you a little advice. Make sure you don't make it like all your wife's thing. Like, you do your part too. You change some diapers, you wake up if you need to,
Got to pull your weight.
Anyway.
All right, let's get to our last one.
Don't pimp him out to the highest bidder.
Yeah, don't do that. And by the way, I hadn't bleep. This could be clean. I have no idea, but I hadn't bleep checked any of it.
You got Stu and Trip coming.
I do. App State. No. Stu's right. Trip.
Post game.
I believe so.
Post spring game. All right.
The five guys. He's right from Twitter here. Calling you after the spring game at App State. You already knew that, though. Might be a little drunk. Maybe some Jaeger bombs with my man Trip. He's sitting beside me.
Love it.
Just wanted to talk to you guys and see what you thought. I don't know if you guys got a chance to get eyes on it. Feeling pretty good about the defense, which is nice because they let us down last year. I will put myself in the delusionally optimistic camp. I like the guys. I like all the moves Dowell Loggins has made. Love the coaching staff, like the NFL guys he brought in. I like that they've dealt with guys that are after money and things like that. Love all the transfers. Love the pieces that we had coming back. Tripp is a moron, and I don't know what his opinion is going to be. I'm going to give him the phone so he can tell you himself.
The good news is the quarterbacks look really good. We play Charlotte in Charlotte.
Going to smoke them.
On Labor Day weekend. The good thing is we got a good welcoming kind of game against a subpar opponent, and we'll take care of business that way.
And then we're going to Boise, and I hope to see you boys there. Give me a shot if you have any feedback. Hey, creme brulee from Texas State. Suck it.
We hadn't heard from creme brulee in a long time.
I know, it's been a while, man. It's been a while, but
could you just hear the optimism and excitement in Stu's voice there?
They're back. They're hopeful.
I mean, how much better was that voicemail than Stu? I mean, just calling depressed after watching, big play after big play. That's all. Look, we talked about this after we interviewed Coach Loggins. That's all, like, they were not that bad last year. I mean, you look at the Clemson game, right? They just got embarrassed. Okay. But it really was 5 plays in that game.
Big plays.
Yeah. And they did it for the next 3 weeks after that. Once a game, twice a game. That's really it, man. So if they can fix that defensively, they'll be just fine.
Yeah. And I talked to Stu and Tripp. They called me after leaving that voicemail, and he made a good point, which I agree with. Maybe some of these NFL staff and coaches that came in, they're used to dealing with players that getting paid and having to deal with that dynamic of it. maybe that pays dividends for them. Maybe they, have some insight to how to kind of, keep, I don't want to say control because that's not the right word, but maybe help manage some of the personalities and some of these kids that are getting paid and get them to buy in and just see the vision of the NFL for what it is. So I'm optimistic for the Mountaineers.
I think that's why you're seeing that as kind of the recipe with some of these coaches, like bringing in guys like Eddie George or some of these guys, or like the Max Crosby thing. Like I think that's a lot of it. Is now it's not if you have great coordinators and great position coaches, the head coach and some of these other guys, like it's just kind of let's manage some egos, manage some personalities, and be the face of this thing. And the X's and O's, I mean, look, you're getting these guys most of the time for like 1 year. This is not about development necessarily anymore. Yep. This is about let's put the best guys we have out there. Let's put the best scheme together and see if we can't win some games.
No doubt.
But I hope so. I hope they'll be back. That Sunbelt East though is just
brutal.
Yep.
But their program, when they're playing good and that stadium's rocking, it's college football's better. Just my opinion.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those ones. We may see, I mean, I don't want to like get my hopes up by any means, but we may see App 2 weeks in a row, right? Because they're in Charlotte and then they're in Boise. If we can somehow swing that, either that or we might end up seeing Boise 2 weeks in a row because Boise's at South Florida, and then versus App at home.
We got to start hammering out our travel schedule depending on when baby number 3, Sprouse baby number 3 comes in. But
yeah, June baby number 3.
Well, take us home.
That's all we got, Jeff.
That's it.
Well, look, if you haven't been following for a while, make sure you go to the YouTube page. We've had a ton of interviews these first couple months of the year. We had John Summerall on last week, head coach at Tulane. We've had Matt Drinkle on at Central Michigan. We've had Coach Loggins at App State on. We have had Trey Lamb from Tulsa on.
Tony Gibson
from Marshall on. Blake Harrell at ECU on. All this in the last couple of weeks. I know I'm missing somebody, I'm sure, but that's all right. And of course, we had Chuck Carson on from Troy talking NIL. We're trying to get us an NIL lawyer on next. We had Pat Curran, the agent, come on and talk about that earlier. We're trying to get a lawyer, see what's next with some of these contracts and getting out of agencies and things like that. So that'll be coming up for you too. Make sure you check out the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like Jeff said, hit the little notification bell so that it'll notify you when we go live. Make sure you hit the follow button on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys, or you can go to groupof5guys.com and get you some Group of Five Guys merch. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of the week. We're out of here.